Right then guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex at GolfMagic, and today you're joining me at East Brighton Golf Club in the swing studio for a brand new product release from Callaway Golf. That's right, it's this time of year where all the brands start releasing their new products for 2022. And I'm going to review the Callaway Rogue ST MAX driver today. Today, Callaway have announced the brand new Rogue ST range, a continuation on the previous Rogue, but now it is speed tuned. That's what the ST stands for. I'm going to quickly talk about the technology involved in the new Rogue ST, and I'm going to give the Rogue ST MAX a hit. This is the flagship model. There are 4 driver models in play this year, so an increase of 1 in comparison to last year, and there's 1 very special driver that will hit very soon. So the Rogue model was a few years old, and it was actually very, very popular. And they've gone back to it for 2022. What Callaway have said about the Rogue ST, and I do find this quite refreshing for a golf brand, is that they're kind of associating what they've done to this year's release to F1. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with F1, every single year they refine and retune their cars. Don't release any new ones. They've got so much technology in play already. So what they can do with the new car is just make it as good as possible. And that's what Callaway have done with this Rogue ST model. The main piece of technology that they've introduced is the speed-tuned weight cartridge made out of tungsten just at the back of this club. But everything else is just a refinement. The speed-tuned weight cartridge, as you can see, is right on the end here, on the perimeter, low and deep in the face, and it's made of tungsten. So that's the best material to improve the ball speed robustness, which is what Callaway are really focusing on with this driver release. Ball speed robustness is for wherever you hit it across the face, you're still going to get a consistent amount of ball speed. I think a lot of brands are now acknowledging that you still have to stay in the realms of the USGA guidelines, so you don't get over that CT amount. You can't hit anything more than the smash factor of 1.5. But we're hitting it all over the club face, so it looks like that Callaway are focusing more on getting a consistent ball speed and consistent smash factor for wherever you hit it across the face. The tungsten weight cartridge is gold. It varies in weight for each model, but the little gold color scheme with the design aesthetically is such a big improvement in comparison to last year's Epic. I was a big fan of the Epic, but when you look at the design, it's very commercialized. This design now with the matte crown, which is different from last year, they're all matte crowns now, slightly elongated face and just a bit more laid back in its design. I think this will be very, very popular on the aesthetics alone. I'll quickly mention the other technology that they've improved in this driver. The flash face is now slightly different, the AI flash face. What they've done with this and what the AI has done is that now you can now change the face, and the face has changed not just for launch angle. The face now controls spin rate, which is revolutionary if you think about it. The AI itself is dictating with this face, and it's a completely different face to last year. All the metrics that you get when you hit it out the middle. The speed frame that we all know and love has changed slightly. It's just the way in which it's designed and connects to the other bodies in this club here. It does slightly save weight, which is always really important with the driver. As I said again, it's just those slight differences to increase that ball speed just a little bit. This is a slightly new shaping as well with all the Rogue ST line. If you look back to the Maverick and the Epic Speed, it's more of a cyclone shape. Whereas now a lot of golf brands are doing this. They're going to a little bit more of a stretched out, larger face across all of the models. That looks like it's going to have some low CG, some high MOI, and just be very, very forgiving. I've got the flagship model with me here today, the Callaway Rogue ST MAX. This has a slight draw bias, but is an extremely high MOI club. So you'll see this from, let's say, a 36 handicapper all the way down to a player who could be on tour. So this is a very broad spectrum for this club. The other models that they have is the Rogue ST MAX D, one that's more of a heavy draw bias. Then you go down to the MAX ST LS, slightly lower spin, but it still has high MOI. And then you've got the triple diamond version, a very tour-ready club, which I can't wait to get my hands on and see what the numbers I get. I'm gonna give this a hit now. I'm gonna put it in my custom shaft. That will be in play for all of our driver reviews. It's also got a really fat jumbo grip on it as well. But if you're looking at any of our reviews, we're all gonna get the same numbers here because I'm using the same shaft. So the only difference is the head itself. So it'll be very exciting for a lot of our golf club comparisons in 2022. Let's load it up now on this launch monitor and see what numbers I get. Okay, so I'm all set up here. I must say this launch monitor is extremely cool. Just looking down at this new Callaway Rogue ST MAX, I can really see the difference in design comparing it to the Callaway Epic Speed. That crown is now a lot longer and it's a lot larger than what it appeared to be in the previous models, which makes it look a lot more forgiving. It just makes it look a lot bigger, but I reckon it'll still go quite far. I'm expecting this to have quite high spin, so we're not really talking about ball speed that much here. I don't think this is going to be an absolute demon for going it really far, but I think getting just a consistent smash factor will be the most important thing here. So I'll give it a few hits and then see how good it really is. Must say that's quite a good start, isn't it? So maybe I was wrong about this this max here not being a speed demon. So instantly getting 175.7 ball speed. If you've seen my previous videos, I always say that anything above 175 is really good for me. Club isn't actually that fast as well, but looking at that going out to 320 with spin at 2.6, that's almost inch perfect for what I'd expect from this driver. I'm thinking, first up, we can probably get a little bit faster than that as well, but I'm more just focusing on that kind of dispersion, just consistent smash factor. I want that ball speed now to stay above, let's say 173, if I can keep that club up as well. So unfortunately, I just went with the club face a little left there, but I don't think it's actually that bad. If you're looking at that spin staying a little bit high, which again alludes to this Rogue ST MAX being that more forgiving model, but with club at 121, with ball speed again staying consistent, it didn't go as far because that spin was quite high, but arguably that helped it stay in play, because that's still been pretty good, and all the base numbers are very strong there. I must say the feel of it from 2 strikes, it feels slightly different to the Epic Speed in that it feels a little bit more muted. The Epic Speed was quite loud, not too loud, but it was a little bit more of a louder model. This feels a little bit softer, a little bit more muted for a driver, which is the right idea. I think we're gonna really see a dip in drivers that are loud and really just attention grabbing. I don't think people really want that anymore. People just want a nice smooth driver that gets good numbers. So that one was a real heely, yeah, and look at that spin as well. That was real heely again, that one. Spin staying a little bit high, but for something that I struck very badly, that's not too bad. With that smash factor staying above 1.4, still a little bit disappointing. I would expect that maybe to go a little bit higher. I wanted to stay over 1.72 in the ball speed, but again, that's probably down to me. But I think I'm just being very picky, because if we look at that actual shot tracer, that is dead straight, still going 285. It's just that spin is going a little bit too high for me. So I kind of want you guys to disregard those actual total numbers, because if I were to get a lower spinning head, such as the Max LS or the Triple Diamond version, that spin would be perfect. That's the one. Back up to 175 ball speed, a nice little, really strong draw. Probably going about 320. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so another really good one there. It's just, if you absolutely smash it out the middle, by the looks of it, you get the most consistent numbers. But then if you're getting it kind of all around the face, like I have done with those shots there, the one that was slightly out of the heel, you're going to notice probably a slight increase in spin, just because if you think about it, if you're hitting it out of the toe or out of the heel, what it probably means is your club face isn't going to be square to the position of the ball. So an increase in spin will make it just a little bit tighter in that dispersion rate, so it's not going to go all over the place, which makes sense. I hopefully won't get any lower than 170 ball now. You can see getting pretty consistent numbers now. I'll hit one more, then I'll just have a little look into the grouping of all of this and just see how we've done. Another real good one there. So that one probably was actually the best that I've hit so far. Getting consistent on numbers of 175 ball speed, I'm pretty happy with that. Club not as fast as I'd like it to be, but if you look at those numbers there, again, more or less inch perfect as to what it should be. Spin probably averaging around 2.7 to 2.8, and then that carry going to 307, going up to 325. I'll quickly show you the actual numbers of it. And if you can look at that, you can see the impact position was slightly low, just slightly on the heel as well, so it wasn't completely out the middle. But if you're saying it's low and out of the heel, but yet I'm still getting that smash of 1.49, very impressive for that ball speed robustness, because you wouldn't really expect that a few years back. You really wouldn't expect that at all. So looking quickly at these numbers here, you can see that the actual difference is just mainly with that distance for that spin rate. So going into this spin here, you can see it fluctuates a little bit. But if you're then looking at the average numbers, which I think is really, really impressive here, you can see it's getting the average spin of 2,857, which is literally bang on. If I had to guess the spin rate from this club, I would guess about 2.7, 2.8. which is literally what it's gonna be, averaging 295 carry and over 300 overall at 312, pretty good. But then looking at that ball speed at 174.2, with one really poor shot at 1.41 smash, that's very good. For an average for me, as I've said before, I think that's a big improvement to what I've seen overall. Can I compare it to the Epic Speed? Probably about 1 or 2 mile an hour increase, just for that consistency. I'm not getting any more max ball speed, not at all. It's the same as I was getting last year. I was getting around 175, 176, 177 going to my max ball speed, but it's just keeping it consistent as to the actual overall one, because I'm not gonna hit it out the middle every single time. And the important thing there, God, look at that. That's impressive for me, is the actual dispersion. I hit it all over the place, guys. I'm sure you know this, but you've got 2 there that are straight down the pipe and just a few that are slightly left, but they'd all be hitting the fairway. If you put me 5 balls down anywhere on a tee box, any par 4, and it gave me the chance to hit 5 fairways, I don't think I'd do that. It appears that the Callaway Rogue ST MAX really is a consistency club, one that you're gonna get some really good numbers with and get down the middle of the fairway every single time. I'll hit just a few more. I'll see if I can just climb that ball speed up just a little bit, because I think we all want to see just how consistent it is. If I'm actually going after it, if this is a club where I can get consistent ball speeds time after time after time, does that mean I can go 110% and not be worried about duck hooking it and slicing it? I think that may be the case here. Spin off the charts. Spin a bit high on that one as well, with the launch angle going up, which this probably isn't the club for me to hit as hard as I can, because it's just going to get probably higher spin and higher launch, but I will point you to that ball speed staying consistent. Just hit one there. It's trying to hit quite a nice smooth one, and it feels, yeah. I'm impressed with this for some different reasons as to what I thought I would be before the video. So let's give my final thoughts on the Callaway Rogue ST MAX driver. So the Callaway Rogue ST MAX driver is a club that is very impressive for a few reasons. Going into this, I will be honest, I have hit this before, but not with the right shaft in it. So although I hit it well, I wasn't sure what numbers I was actually going to be getting in terms of the actual ball speed. What I've seen here is that this club, albeit probably not the longest you'll see in this year in 2022, I think it may be the straightest, because whatever type of shot I hit about 20 to 30 shots here, and my club path wasn't that consistent. I was hitting it probably a few degrees left and a few degrees right. Wasn't necessarily hitting it out the middle. I said my main miss was just a bit low and out of the heel, but seeing those consistent numbers of 175 mile an hour in the ball speed is something I haven't seen before from Callaway. From previous models of the Callaway Epic Speed, the Callaway Epic Max, they were good, but the consistent numbers I wasn't actually seeing, especially on off-center strikes. It seems here that with this model, it's a very forgiving club. And if I had to recommend any club that I've hit so far to an amateur golfer, and being actually knowledgeable rather than saying, okay, here's the one that goes the furthest, it's likely that I recommend the Callaway Rogue ST MAX, because we all want to hit the fairway. I understand we all want to hit 300 yards, including me. I want to hit 350 yards, but realistically, we should all prefer to be 230, 240 yards down the fairway every single time and not risking going into the rough. This club does that. I reckon if I could fine tune this a little bit more and maybe even move down the model to the LS, I could see even better numbers. But if I had to recommend a driver to an everyday golfer, it would be this one here. This is available at retail in early March. The RRP of this is $479. Sounds quite expensive, but it actually is a decrease in comparison to last year's Epic range, which is a good sign from Callaway. Long may it may continue, because driver prices are very expensive. If you guys have any questions about the Callaway Rogue ST MAX today, pop it down below. I think this is a really interesting club, and I'm very excited to do a lot of comparisons with other releases going into 2022. There's so many little improvements that Callaway have made with this club, but when you put it all together, it's a big plus for this year. And I can't wait to try all the other stuff. If you guys have enjoyed this video today, leave a like down below. And if you are new to GolfMagic, hit the subscribe button too to keep up to date with all of our videos. Got a lot of very, very exciting videos coming soon. Until then, I'll see you guys at the next video.